live and ready to rip. 2026 Top Series 1 Jumbo. Series 1 baseball jumbo case. Hope everybody's having a great start to the weekend. I say start to the weekend. It's actually not the start to the weekend, but it is for me. I took tomorrow off. My wife's a teacher. My kids all have the day off tomorrow, so I'm having a great night. I just finished watching The Sandlot with my kids. No, we didn't finish the movie, but we just finished the part where Squints tricked Wendy Peppercorn into that kiss, so I'm having a great start to my weekend. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome start to what will be the weekend soon. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning customer, of course, welcome back. We're live on both eBay Live and YouTube for your viewing pleasure. It's important. Last night, YouTube completely crashed out. Our eBay Live feed was perfect throughout. 99.9% of the time, both feeds are perfect all night. But for whatever reason, we love to be live on two feeds just in case something weird happens. Jonas Waugh says, do you sell spots that didn't sell earlier? I have a regular that buys up all the unsolds, my man, in these. But if for any reason there's ever like a monstrous spot that doesn't pay or anything like that, then yes, we will sell those during the live. But tonight we are all good to go. Kay Vaughn, what's going on? Nate Church and Zach Nito, good luck to you, my friend. Nice to have you back in a live feed. If you're new to the channel, we rip the full case. We do a recap at the end, and we get these shipped out to you within a couple of business days, safely and securely. Yeah, early start to the weekend here. Like I said, I took tomorrow off. I travel a lot for work, and so when I know my wife and kids are going to be off for a day, I always try to match up my schedule to theirs. So I'm excited. I'm going to take the boys. We're going to go to the batting cages, the indoor batting cages here tomorrow. Pick out some Valentine's presents for my wife. So we're gonna do a little guys' day. So hopefully you guys are gonna have a good Friday as well. But we'll rip the full case. We'll do a recap at the end. We'll get these shipped out within 2 business days, safely and securely. In bubble mailers, yeah, everything's sold. I have a regular who buys up all the unsolds, Jonas. But in the future, if you want to be on that list of people who get offered the unsold spots in bulk, shoot me a message. Always happy to add somebody else to the queue on those. Courtside Wax, what's going on? All right, SJU Spartan says, let's go. We're going to get started here. If you guys want to let me know who you're rooting for in the live break, please do. If you don't, no worries. Sit back, relax, enjoy the break. Probably about an hour-ish. Jumbo, not as many cards as Hobby. We show you every card. We ship you every card. The league leaders and the multiplayer cards actually on the checklist have a single card spot. So those will all go to the spot that is actually on the checklist. So even though there's multiple players on some of those cards, the checklist lists them as a single player card. So those will all go to that specific player. The team cards, I sold that as its own spot. What other housekeeping do we have to go over? Here's 6 boxes. Oh, the only thing I'd like to make sure everyone is aware of is I did not list a Jerry Seinfeld spot because when I listed this break, it was not known that he had an auto in this product. If we are to hit a Jerry Seinfeld auto over the course of this break, it will go to the very last player card of the break. So someone in this break would get a Jerry Seinfeld auto. I didn't sell the spot because I didn't know he was in the checklist until 2 days ago when Topps released the information. But if there is a Jerry Seinfeld auto out of this break, it will go to the very last card shown in the break. So just so you guys know, we always try to make sure that everybody in the breaks gets the best bang for their buck. Andrew says, pull me some Kyle Teal Heat. Big Papa says, Riley Green. All right, good luck, guys. Again, thanks for choosing to spend some of your Thursday here with me. We're ripping 36 retail Easter egg tins right after this if you guys are in that break. So if you guys are gluttons for punishment, you're going to be listening to me yap for a number of hours in a row here. We also have blasters. We have more tins on Sunday. Those auctions actually end Saturday night. I'm going to try to be a good husband for the next couple of days and hang out with the fam as much as possible. But we'll be running some Sunday afternoon breaks. Those end Saturday night. We've got Sunday night breaks, some UFC. We've got blasters Monday. We've got Stadium Club Wednesday, Thursday. We'll probably have more of this next Sunday, so If you guys want to come back and hang out, save me as a seller on eBay. That's the best way to know when all of our auctions go live. All right. Hanger boxes are tough going. Yeah, I didn't get any hangers, but I got these retail tins with the rabbits and the carrots, and who knows what else is going to be in those. But I've heard those are a load of fun, so that's what's next. A sealed case of those. Not sure how much fun they'll be, but I've heard they're great so far, so I'm hoping they are. And if they are, I have a bunch more of them that we can keep running. All right, Joe Rock, Sand, Glitter, First Pitch, Manny Fresh, Mauricio, Rhett Lauder, and Yuri Perez. Okay. Yeah, I like the holiday releases. I always do. I was hoping it was whoever called Dibs first. Dibs, are you still? You're probably Andrew. I like you. You're probably one of those guys who calls shotgun or driver when you're getting in a car still. That used to be my thing in college. We actually had a rule with all of our roommates in college that you could actually call driver, which didn't matter whose car. If you called driver, you were driving the car. And it was cool because some of my buddies had some rich parents and they had some way cooler cars than me. So I used to use that as an opportunity to get to drive their cars. Adam Frazier, Foil, Yamamoto, the Polar Bear. Nothing exciting yet. If you guys think I miss a variation, obviously I think they're backwards. But for whatever reason, if you want me to go back, just let me know. Always happy to do so. Dibs. We used to do, you know what we used to do, Andrew? We used to do Not It. Not It was a fun one, too. It's like, man, someone's got to knock out those dishes. And then it would be Not It. And it was the last one to say Not It. I'm 43 years old, so I have no idea what people still do. But those were our little games we used to play. Shotgun, driver, Not It. David Peterson. Matty O. Jose, all tops team. Not sure why they're throwing those ones backwards, although they are beautiful cards. All right, nothing exciting to speak of through the first couple of packs here. Right in that wheelhouse. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people in this hobby are kind of in our age range. Like we grew up in the junk wax era. We still love cards. Maybe some of us got back into it during COVID. Whatever the reasoning was. But yeah. All right, Kyle Teal. Someone asked for Kyle Teal. We got you a relic to start with. Got you on the board. Xander Bogaerts. There's Mickey Mantle. Roman Anthony. What is that? Profiles. Roman Anthony. Joe Nixon. Blue Jays. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome. We're in box one, just getting started here. We just pulled our first relic. No autos yet. Nothing crazy low numbered yet. We're just getting into it. Yeah, there you go. Kyle Teal, you got a relic. You're on the board. And that doesn't mean you're done. A lot of dupes in every Fanatics product lately, so it's actually probably a better sign to get something early. Lets you know you're probably live for something else. All right, come on. I'm generally not a huge flagship guy just because of the lack of overall volume of hits, but I enjoyed our hobby case last night. Astros, Quinn Priester. I'm trying to get more into it. Hoping this case is the one that makes me bring in 5 more cases for next weekend. But I will say, as a breaker, sorting flagship by player is a grind. It is a grind. We always get them out to you within a couple of business days, safely and securely. But I'll tell you what, I got a couple of young kids. I coach a lot of sports. There's a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights to make sure those go out. Make sure those go out on time. Every once in a while, my wife will help me sort. Like, when you do a player sort with 3,000 cards, like, you have to sort it out by letter first, and then we have, like, a whole sorting system here. It's just, I'm a one-man show. There's no sorting team. It's just me and the fam here, Roman Anthony. But it's funny, like, sometimes our whole living room. It has 8-foot tables around it with different letters. It's a fun world over here. But we pride ourselves in making sure we get our cards to you faster, safer than anybody else. The 50 case breaker and is not sending base. See, I don't know how people do that. Like, I mean, I get it, but I guess if you list it that way. But I just feel like it's crazy to tell somebody, hey, you're getting this player, but you only get their cards if they hit. Like a lot of people collect base cards, so I don't know. I just have always been the kind that if you're going to buy a player spot in one of my breaks, I'm going to send you every card. But I guess for the breaker's perspective, we're like, oh, this is great. I only have to send a couple cards out. But that's not what we do here. We always send you every card. Nick Kurtz, Rookie Cup. Juan Soto. My man, J-Ram. Love his loyalty to Cleveland. Hope he gets himself a title. You almost bought in on the 50 case, but that turned you off of it. Yeah, they just don't want to do the sort. I get it, but if you don't want to do the sorting, don't list the break. That's always how I've felt about it. If you don't want to sort it, don't list it. I thought it was one auto and one relic, so maybe that looks like a thick card. Maybe we get a relic auto? Maybe we get a relic auto? I don't know. Or maybe we get 2 relics here. I don't know. Are you guys seeing 2 relics in some of these boxes? And maybe it was just a misprint. You guys will know better than me. I have not watched a single jumbo box be ripped until this one. We got a Houston Astros to 99. Trey Turner relic card. Okay, Astros. Trey Turner bat relic, so 2 relics. Christian Campbell, Future Stars to 2026. Brendan Donovan. All right, we're getting some action going. Freddie Freeman. Still no auto. I was pretty impressed with our hobby case last night, spiking 2 silver pack autos. Spiking 2 silver pack autos. I was a fan of that. Love the silver pack autos. That's what I love about Flagship is the silver packs. B. Donovan, that's a great photo. You saw a 3-case jumbo break with 0 silver pack autos. Wow. Yeah, I felt like it was pretty cool for us to be in the middle of a hobby case and hit two silver pack autos. So it's good to hear that that was a outlier. It felt like an outlier. I remember hobby silver packs, for whatever reason, always seem to be a little lamer on the autos. All right, let's see an auto here. Yep, there he is, Brandon Garcia. Hate when you catch a sticker auto in Flagship. Brandon Garcia, if you got that spot, congrats. Jake Fraley. Roberto Clemente. Mr. Bailey. All right, we're easing in with kind of a lousier auto. Brandon Garcia. That one doesn't have anybody jumping up and down. BR Moore is on the board with Turner. All right, we'll take that. The ones you've seen with have 2 relics still had an auto. Usually a decent auto. Travis is here. All right, Travis is here. That's good news for me. All right, last pack, box 1. Still got our silver packs coming, so just getting going. I believe we'll be running another jumbo case next Sunday. That's the tentative plan as of right now. Colson home field advantage. The Riverwalk. What a cool looking card. Nice Colson. Home field advantage. Didn't see one of those at a hobby last night. HFA. All right, all of a sudden this becomes a pretty good box. Pods. Will Clark, Tarek Skubal, Topps team. Jacob Marcy. I was at Jacob Marcy's game here in Cleveland where he hit 2 straight home runs. Yeah, they're not easy to hit. I was here when he hit 2 home runs right into his family's section. It was awesome. I was at the game. He hit home runs his first 2 at-bats, and both of them, he hit them right to his family, and his family was going nuts. Owen Casey. Didier Fuentes, Jack, Ronald Acuna Jr. Nice Jack. Silver pack number 2. Have I seen Adrian Morejon at all? No, I actually still have a couple of Adrian Morejon autos before he went into Tommy John. I read a bunch of amazing things about him when I used to like buy prospects, but I still have a couple of his myself. Matt Olson, Ronald again, Bobby Witt Jr. How do you get 2 Ronalds in the same 2 silver packs in the same box? I don't know how that happens, but it does. But no, I have not seen Adrian Morejon. He may be auto only. I haven't double checked. I don't know the checklist by heart, but I'm guessing he's auto only if you haven't seen him. Yeah, congrats on the Colson. That's a big card. I want to see an All Kings. I hit my first heavy lumber. I never hit a heavy lumber in flagship before. I hit one last night. I've hit a bunch of All Kings, but never in baseball. So let's try to get one of those out of this case too. All right, box 2. Good luck. I'm excited for All-Star Weekend. It's the first week. I actually don't have any breaks the next 2 nights. My kids are excited. They're finally into sports and watching sports, so we're going to stay up and let them watch. They're excited for the celebrity game. Ryan Ritter. They're excited for the Rising Stars game. I'm excited just to get to watch All-Star Weekend. It's always something that's tough for me to watch these days. Casey Schmidt. Mr. Freeman. The Wrath of Polly, is that you? You got the Colson? Card looked beautiful. Looked pretty clean. My kids are 6 and about to be 8 in March, so it's just now to where they can both sit and watch a basketball. Like, they can both sit and watch a Cavs game with me without, like, freaking out after a couple minutes or, fighting with each other or anything. Like, they love to sit and watch basketball specifically. Adam Frazier out of 25. Nice Frazier. Vlad Jr. Jack Profiles. But even at like 3, when they were 3 and 5, I was thinking they'd be able to sit and watch, and they just, man, it was tough. Football, they'll sit and watch. Basketball, they'll sit and watch. Baseball, they'll watch the at-bats, but then they end up throwing the ball around or doing something in the middle of it. I remember my buddies telling me, like, when my kids were a little bit younger, they're like, oh, man, just wait a couple years. In a couple years, they're going to be your best friends. All they're going to want to do is what you do. I was like, man, I hope so, because some of those ages, like, I remember when they were, like, 2 and 4, and they were doing, like, making pretend food for us. I was like, oh, man, this is tough. Brandy Johnson. My wife's a teacher, though, so she was always really good with those stages, but be like, Dad, can I make you breakfast? And I'm like, sure. And they'd be like, all right, you have to pretend to eat it. And I'm like, we're doing this. We're really doing this. So some of that stuff was a challenge for me, but now I'm in the best time. I'm coaching every single sport. All they want to do is play sports, watch sports. They're throwing footballs around in the living room, which my wife loves. But life is good. Bo Naylor, red. Is that 4 out of 5? Bo! Card's awesome. Let's go. That's awesome, Scott Hunter. I'm rooting for you. Addison Barger. Really excited about that Bo. Jack, Mr. Otani. Alex Bregman. How about a Bo to 5? Beauty. I'm liking this case so far. A little AL Central action coming at us. Big Papa, that bodes well for you, hopefully. Addison Barger. Getting some action going. Roman Anthony, the man of the hour. Yeah, that would be good, Travis. We got to get you one. Jonah Tong. Mr. Acuna Jr. Mookie. Brandon Garcia. No relic or auto yet out of this box, but an orange and a red. There we go. Looks like we got our relic coming at us. Did they finish that 50 case break today, Big Papa? Or are they still working on it? Carson Willie. There you go. Relic. Adam Frazier again. It's 2 Adam Frazier hits. I told you they'll dupe up. They're not afraid to get you twice. They are not afraid to get you twice. Garage Gold. What's up? Carson Williams. We'll throw that one up there. Still waiting on an auto. Box 2. Oh gosh, they were running 2 different channels to get it done. That's hysterical. Who was that? Hobby Legends? Is that who does those? I feel like they always do a good job. I'm never afraid to talk smack when it's one of the lousy breakers, but Hobby Legends always does a good job. D. Beavers, Rainbow, Devers, Jose, Bryce Harper. The Beavs. Luke Raley. Looks like an all tops coming at us. Chandler Simpson. Future Stars. Colson. Mr. Judge. All tops team. I really like the way those look. Really, really like those cards. I'd really like to see a monster auto. We didn't see a monster auto last night. Hoping we do tonight. Come on. Love to see a legend auto, too. Selfishly. I grew up in the Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr. era. Frank Thomas. Love to see one of those guys come on and hang out. Nolan Ryan. Roger Clemens. Any of those. Will Clark. Love to see. Darryl Strawberry. Lawrence Butler to 2026. Will Clark, I called my damn shot. What a hit. Will Clark to 150. Most beautiful swing I've ever seen. I don't care what anybody says. Ken Griffey Jr.'s was pretty damn nice. Nick Kurtz. Ken Griffey Jr.'s was pretty damn nice, but Alicia Newman, it was no Will Clark. Just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. Awesome hit. Yep, beautiful signature as well. Love everything about that card. Nice. I don't think I've ever pulled an Oral Hershiser. I'm a big Oral Hershiser fan from his time here in Cleveland. At the end of his career, when the Indians at the time should have won a World Series or multiple, but big Oral Hershiser fan. He did it at such a high level for so long. That's right. It's a sick card. That's such a sick card. Love that Will Clark. Love it. And that Will Clark's still 150. Any Cruz yet? No Dylan Cruz yet. Nothing numbered at least, or short printed. Just finishing up box 2 though. You got 4 more boxes. Brian Abreu, Jackson Merrill, Kyle Teal. All right, we're on to silver packs for box 2. Again, if you love what you see here, you love listening to me ramble, you love cards, or all of the above, save us as a seller on eBay. We're usually here 4, 5, 6 nights a week, depending on... The blue auto is Will Clark, my man. Will Clark. We got a purple in the back. 4, 5, 6 nights a week. We run just about everything. Big Combat Sports Channel. Tons of baseball. Don Mattingly, Ryan Sandberg, Jonah Tong. Well, that was anticlimactic. Christian Moore to 250. Christian Moore, purple. And Trey Turner. Otto Kemp, Randy Johnson, the big unit, and Nolan Ryan. 2 of my favorite pitchers to watch growing up. Just needed Roger Clemens and Greg Maddux in there, and we would have had them all. All right, 2 boxes in. I feel like we got all the makings of a fun case here. Awesome Will Clark throwback auto. Love it. Awesome home field advantage. Colson. Got short printed. We had a red. We had a red and an orange in that box. Let's get nasty. Let's have a case. Let's have a case. Again, I think I'm going to run one more case of this next Sunday. So if you guys want a little more jumbo action, next Sunday should be the day. Those should go up this Sunday for next Sunday. I have to space it out a little bit because these are long sorts. I can't run. I believe Maddux should have an auto in here. I saw a video come across one of my social medias yesterday that I watched where he, like, at the end of a BS game, he let Jeff Bagwell hit a home run because he knew they were going to see him in the postseason, and he wanted him to associate the success with that pitch that he would never throw him in that scenario again. It's a wild interview. Greg Maddux was the man. Tommy Edman, gold. Bryce Matthews is a nice one. B. House, Aaron Judge. Greg Maddux was so awesome. Greg Maddux, I pitched at a pretty high level until like 12 and under, and like played 60, 70 games, travel ball and whatever. And I never had huge hands. I was never a super tall guy, so I just never had giant hands either. But I remember my dad just trying to teach me to throw a circle change. It just, I don't know, like my hand, it didn't make sense for me. Like throwing a changeup like in travel ball, like at that time, just it wasn't like a pitch that seemed necessary because our fastballs weren't that much faster anyway. But I remember my dad just loving Greg Maddux and loving that circle change and that arm motion. Carson Williams relic. Houston Astros. It's their 3rd hit. The team card spot's going nuts with the Astros. Strohs, Roland, C. Willie. It's 2 Carson Williams relics, if my math is right, which I think it is, yeah. Right next to each other there. He was a great thinking man's pitcher, man. Nobody hit the corners better than that dude. Nobody hit the corners like that ever. And he didn't even throw that hard. He threw like 92. But man, that Indians lineup that he shut down in the World Series, it will go down as the single greatest batting lineup of all time. Jacob Young. Yankeel, Baby Auto, Fernandez, Mr. Ohtani. The 95 Indians lineup will be the greatest batting lineup of all time. It will never be beaten. Never be beaten. 8 guys batted 300 for the year. 8. 8 guys batted 300. It's funny now, like, I don't pay as much attention to, like, batting averages and stats with baseball. I don't do any fantasy baseball. But my kids have really gotten into baseball, and we went to a Guardians game last year for the first time in a while since the playoffs the year before, and everybody's batting average was coming up on the Jumbotron, and I was looking at it. I was like, what am I looking at? Like, wasn't a single guy on the whole team batting 300. And I was like, wait a minute. And I started looking around in the major leagues, and I was like, oh, my God. there's like no 300 hitters anymore. Like it's done. Yeah, there was 8 guys on the 95 Indians, 8 starters who hit 300 for the year. Sandy Alomar, the 9 hitter. I want to say the only guy who didn't hit 300 was Vizquel that year in the 2 spot. But I could be wrong. It could have been whoever the 8 hitter was. But it's the single best lineup of all time. Baerga, Bell, Ramirez, Tomey was the middle of it with Kenny Lofton leading off. Like it'll never get better than that ever. Jesus Luzardo, and they didn't win because they ran into Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox, Avery, Jacob Marcy on the back. Boy, you aren't kidding, Andrew. 8 guys in the whole league. It's just wild. Like 235 was called the Mendoza line. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Thank you, Yankees. Vizquel 266, only starter under 300. Thank you. I knew that. I thought I was right, but you just confirmed it. Thank you. That makes me feel good that my brain still gets there. And Vizquel was the 2-hitter, batted 266, was arguably the best defensive player in the league. So, like, that team was so good. They had Oral Hershiser, Charles Nagy was an all-star, Dennis Martinez at the very end of his career, but El Presidente was still awesome. Ah, man. I used to literally, this is how big of an idiot I was. I had a scorebook, and I would watch the games when I got home from playing travel ball, and I would actually keep score in a scorebook, athletics, of the games just in my living room. Watched every game. I can't imagine loving a sport more than I did at that time. Casey Blake was under 300. He wasn't on the 95 Indians. Yeah, it's all about the long ball and OPS. Is right. But imagine having a team batting average of 291. Do you know how insane that is? Jose Mesa was the closer. That's right. Nice, Andrew. Yeah. Jose Mesa was the closer. They had like Paul Sorrento, who was a really good home run hitter, who was a pinch hitter and just a everyday bat. I mean, they were so good. Alejandro Kirk to 250. Love that photo. Bobby Witt Jr. Glitter. Caroline Marks. I still can't believe that. Do you think a team will ever hit 291 again? Yeah, Albert Bell. You remember Albert Bell that year? They accused him of corking his bat, and they took the bat in like the first inning against, I think it was against Baltimore. And he hit a home run with the next bat they gave him in the next inning, and they zoomed in on him in the dugout, and he was flexing and pointing at his bicep, and he was like, "There's your cork right there," with some expletives in there. Oh, man. That was the year that Ramirez hit the home run off of Eckersley, like hit it like 500 feet, a walk-off home run, and Eckersley walked off the field and said, "Wow." If you've never seen that clip, go back and watch that clip of a young Manny Ramirez. Styles and Smiles. I love talking old baseball. It's wild now to watch it. Like, it's a different world. I grew up watching Kirby Puckett and, Tony Gwynn and some of the greatest hitters of all time as well. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's any, like, insanely great just hitters. I mean, obviously, there's some great hitters, but nobody who's like Tony Gwynn, who would just get a barrel on the ball every at-bat. There's nobody like that now. Wonder why that is. Alex Freeland, nice one there. That's a nice one. Throwback Freeland auto, we'll take that all day. Oh, Tony Gwynn was the man. Tony Gwynn was the freaking man. Nice Freeland. It's a good case. You get me ranting about old school baseball. Maybe that helps the case. Yeah. Yeah, Jason Grimsley. Oh, that's great. Yes, I remember that. Kyle Tucker. Oh, man. I remember Albert Bell, man. He was a menace. Kids would ask for his autograph, and he was so mean to them. And if you called him Joey, because his name was Joey Bell when he came into the league, if you called him Joey, a lot of people would yell Joey. That pissed him off so bad. Oh, he hated that shit. I have every member of that team's autograph on individual balls somewhere at my dad's house. I still have a Griffey, I have a Frank Thomas, I have everybody from that era. But I remember I sold Colton Cowser. As I wanted to propose to my wife, I was like $1,000 short of the ring I wanted at the time, and I didn't want to put it on a credit card. And I sold a Mickey Mantle autographed baseball that my dad and I had gotten at a show. It's always a fun story. But I sold a Mickey Mantle autographed baseball, like at the time, and we're talking 14 years ago, so I think I sold it on Craigslist. And I remember the lady was buying it for her son, and she was like, "Do you have a certificate of authenticity?" I was like, "I don't, but I have the picture of him signing it with me sitting on his lap as a kid." I was like, "I think that might be as good of a COA as it gets." And she looked at it and she was like, "That's definitely you." And I think I sold it for like $1,000. I want to say $1,000 I got for that ball. I don't know what they go for now, but that was the last 1,000 I needed. Jackson Chourio, Riley Green. But if I could go back in time, I would have financed the last 1,000 of it, because I would have liked to keep that ball. Didier Fuentes. I would have liked to give that to my kids. Carson Williams and Parker Messick. All right, we're halfway home, guys. We got 3 to go. I'm going to take a 30-second intermission. We'll be right back to finish the last 3 boxes of the case. All right, we are back. Sorry, I had to grab some more 100-point loaders. I only had one left from last night. Now we are good to go. To grab some fresh hundreds. We'll get rolling on the second half. Again, welcome to Rip's Card Rips. If you just joined us, I'm Rip. We're here 4 or 5 nights a week, most weeks. Jonas is looking for Dylan Cruz. Good luck to you, my friend. If you haven't hit yet, I'm sorry. I'm trying. I've always said the coolest thing in the world would be, there was like a 90s show. I think it was called like Early Edition, where like some guy like got the newspaper a day early. I always thought it'd be awesome to be like the breaker who, like, if you knew and you could control what you hit, what a superpower that would be. But unfortunately, we just open them. We hope everybody leaves happy, but it's impossible with 500 spots. So just know that we're rooting for all of you. Unfortunately, we just open them and hope. Andrew Vaughn, 291 team average. I can't get over that. 95 Indians. 97 wasn't much worse. 97 was, I want to say Lofton was gone. Some of those 95 highlights, though, if any of you guys watch those, Rip a Manzardo, I'd love to see a Manzardo. I'm a big Manzardo fan. I think he's going to have a big year this year. Hunter Brown, Mike Trout, I think he's a really good buy low guy. Really good buy low guy. Especially if you're not in Cleveland, you could probably snag Manzardo autos for nothing. Both years CC started and Manny belted homers. Yep, he sure did. He sure did. You have like 65 Tony Gwynn autos. That's an insane, like auto cards. That's a great PC to have. Doesn't get any cooler than that. I gotta go start collecting some of those guys on card autos. Greatest hits, Machado. I'll say that's a fuchsia. Mr. Bogarts, David Wright. Love David Wright. Lawrence Butler. There's Dylan Cruz. I got a good buddy who's really, really big on Dylan Cruz. Good buddy who thinks he is just cannot miss. Says you should buy every Dylan Cruz you can. I don't know if that's true or not, but... $58 autos cards. That's wild. Good for you. That is really cool. I'm trying to collect, so I collect on-card autos. That's really my only thing that I buy. I'm going to go to the National this year for the first time. I've never been to the National. O'Neal Cruz, camo. Nasty. Out of 25. Some really nice low-numbered stuff here. Zach Maxwell. Miguel Cabrera. Juan Soto. But I need to get... I have an Aaron Rodgers. What do I have? I have an Aaron Rodgers... I have a Peyton Manning on card. I need a Tom Brady, admittedly. I need an Elway. I need a cool Elway. But I always try to collect the greatest, or at least in my opinion, the greatest ever. That's what I'm trying to save for my kids and put in the safe. But I need a Tiger Woods. So, yeah, that was the time to get him when he signed and everything. But they are not cheap now. Haven't seen any Randy or Rosarena either. I don't know if Randy or Rosarena has a base card or just inserts and autos. I don't know. You'd have to double check the checklist. He's definitely on the checklist. I just don't know what he's on there with. It's too many names for me to memorize in this checklist. Jake Fraley, Ellie Deli, Jackie Robb. There's Colson, Jack. Brian Sipe. I don't have a Brian Sipe. I don't know if he has on-card autos. He probably does in something. But I need a Tiger Woods. And I feel like every time I watch them, I watch the Tiger Woods autos end, and every time I'm like, man, it's like a Tuesday night. Nobody's going to be on this one. This is going to be the one that I get for sub $1,000. And I don't need, there's an Ohtani. I don't need the greatest rookie, gem mint, whatever. I just need a Tiger Woods on-card auto. And every time I bid them up, they just go flying over what my max price is. So I think I'm going to go to the National and just try to see one that I just have to have. I know he is currently still exclusive to Upper Deck, Jordan is. I don't know how long that deal is. Maybe somebody else in the room will know. I will say this. I don't love anything about what Fanatics has done since they took over. Anything. Other than the fact that they've gotten some cool people to sign. And they've done some creative things, and they've really limited the number of redemptions. Those are the positives to what they've done, in my opinion. I won't go through the negatives because it just gets me down a rabbit hole that I don't really feel like going on tonight. But I do see a scenario where maybe they would get Jordan out of that contract, but I don't know. Is he lifetime? I don't know. And gosh, how could Upper Deck afford to pay? Upper Deck really is just the only product they put out that anyone cares about is hockey, right? So I don't know. I don't know what kind of contract he signed. I mean, I guess it would have been years and years and years ago. Yeah, I agree. But if they get him to sign, and that's one of the things that they do, man, they get guys to sign. So I think it would be incredible if they did. I think it would be the biggest. I mean, but I can't even imagine what, with what Topps Chrome went for this year. Can you imagine if Jordan's first autos on a? I mean, gosh. Juan Duran to 2026. Frankie Lindor relic. I don't even. It almost would suck because nobody would be able to afford to rip it. Ronald Acuna Jr. Jesse Eisenberg. You'd never be able to chase those cards because they'd be. What were hobby boxes at release? Hobby boxes at release this year of Topps Chrome were like 800 on release day. I mean, if Jordan was in there, that'd be $1,500 with one auto. You gonna gamble $1,500 with a chance of getting a Chris Middleton or Jordan? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be really curious to see what they do with this, what Panini does. Oh, yeah. I'd be really curious to see what Panini does with, like, I know they're putting out unlicensed. We got another relic, I think, in here. They're putting out unlicensed basketball, which the mock-ups look really, really good. And, like, Panini's not going away. They're going to keep firing out cards and finding a way to stay relevant. But I'll be really curious to see what they do. Ben Rice, relic auto. That's a nice one. Really curious to see what they do to stay competitive. Ben Rice, relic auto. That is not numbered. Major League Material auto. Nice one for the B. Rice spot. But I thought the mock-ups of their unlicensed looked so good, comparatively speaking. Alejandro Kirk. Like, there's a way to make it not obvious that there's no logo. And if you look at the mock-ups, they look amazing. Like what Fanatics did with, I'm trying to think what the basketball product last year that was the shittiest. Is that you, Yankees? Did we hit you something finally? That is a sticker, my friend. It is a sticker. Did I get you something? Nice. Hey, I got you something. I love having you here in the break room. So we got to get you something. Now I feel good about it. I feel really good. That made my night. I remembered my man Yankees from last night. I saw his username come through on the break tonight, and I was like, all right, I must be doing something right. Yankees is back. Yankees is back. It's the little things. It's the little things that keep us going. Daniel Palencia, McCutchen, and eventually you start showing up a bunch and you become a regular. Chase Burns on the back. I know who you are. I remember you. I remember the Blue Altuve came right after that. Drew Gilbert. Next week's schedule, guys, just so you know. Wednesday and Thursday, half cases of Stadium Club, which releases Wednesday. There's Joe Rock. They will be from the same case. We will pop the live case Wednesday. The second half will be Thursday. I always let you guys know if my breaks say half case break, that means it is either the first or second half of a freshie. If they don't say case at all, that means they're loose boxes. But next week with Stadium Club, we're just splitting it up into 2 nights. Sometimes people like to watch the first half, get in on the second half. You do whatever's best for you. I'm just letting you guys know in case you want to be there. And then I think we'll have another case of this Sunday. Come on, let's see something out of these silver packs. No autos yet. I'm kind of annoyed by that. Grant Taylor, David Ortiz, Rafael Devers, and Yanquiel Baby Auto Fernandez. Robin Yount. Bo Jackson, Nolan McLean, and Carson Wisenhunt. So we are still skunked on silver packs for autos. All right, 2 to go. 2 to go. I feel like this has been better than hobby in terms of just overall low numbered action. Autos have been better. Let's see a monster card. Let's see a monster. How about an all kings here? But I think I'm going to go to the National. I think I'm going to buy a Tiger Woods. Yeah, Jonas, we hit a Dylan Cruz. I pointed it out when we hit one earlier. We hit a Future Stars a couple packs ago. Just nothing. Yeah, that'd be a good one, Travis. Let's get that one. We hit a Dylan Cruz Future Stars. It just was a base. There's B House. Tarek Skubal. Ellie. Jimmy Crooks. No longer going by Jimmy Crooks III. Jimmy Crooks is such a mob boss name. I love it. Jimmy Crooks. There he is. It's Jimmy Crooks. Feels like something right out of Goodfellas or A Bronx Tale. There you go, Dylan Cruz. Yeah, I wasn't lying to you. Future Stars, Dylan Cruz. I told you you had one. Now we just got to find you something autoed or numbered or, you know, one of those. Relic coming at us. Carlos Correa. Jonathan India. Glitter. Cal Raleigh. Mr. Trout. Where do you guys land on Trout? I always ask this. Where do you guys land on Trout? What is... Andrew. Jimmy Crooks and who? Jackson Dart? Jay Dart? They're best friends? I didn't know that. That's cool. I like Jackson Dart. If I was the Browns, I would have drafted him last year. And that was everybody who asked me. I said that's the guy I would take. Oh, the one who does the celebration that Baker made fun of. DeVito? Tommy DeVito. Is his name Tommy DeVito? Yeah, that's hilarious. That makes sense. Giancarlo Stanton. That's amazing. Of course they're friends. Bo Naylor. Kirby Puckett. Bryce Harper. Tommy DeVito. Legend destined to never win a meaningful game. That's what I was asking. Like, I always wonder, like, the Trout card market, like, obviously one of the more talented players in this generation, right? But, like, what if you're a Trout collector, like, what are you hoping happens to make his cards worth more money at some point? Zach Maxwell to 250, Brett Batty to 2026. Like, I don't see any scenario where there's Kelvin Sampson where Trout's cards could possibly go up. Like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer statistically, right? But this Nathan Church, yeah, we hit a Nathan Church auto out of the silver packs last night. I know he's in there. I don't know if I've seen Nito. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Trout seems like a cool dude, but like his stuff, how high it was for so long, like I feel like now it's just like people have kind of like been like, all right, I don't know if he's ever gonna win anything at all. So like, what are we doing here? He signed so much for so long too. Like he signs in every single product. I feel like they got to stop doing that. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like they got to like ration out the autos. Brendan Donovan, especially with some of the guys. Like Trout's been in every auto for every single product for the last 5 years. There's Jackson Holiday. Like maybe throw out a couple products where he's not in. And then the next one, when it comes out, like people will be like, ooh. Yeah, the Mookie Betts route was great. Like, man, he didn't sign for a long time. I don't know. But then I guess, then it probably devalues the products that's coming out. I don't know. I guess that's why I do what I do and they do what they do. But I feel like if it were me, I would try to mix it up a little bit. Mix it up so it wasn't the same exact guys signing in every single release. I feel like it would, give you something to look forward to. Like, ooh, this is a premier product. Now I know all the big names are going to be in this one. But maybe in flagship, maybe Trout doesn't sign in this. I don't know, just my opinion. City Connect Relic, Manny Machado, Quinn Priester, Corey Seager, Cal Raleigh, all tops, Teoscar. He really doesn't have a single auto in a Yankees uniform. That's wild. I didn't know that. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to come back. I don't think they're going to come back. I don't know. I just don't. The Angels just don't seem like they're in any way, shape, or form building a contender either. So I don't know. It's a shame. I don't even know what his contract looks like. I don't pay attention to that stuff. But in a weird way, I wish he would just sign on with with a contender and play some meaningful baseball. It would be cool to see him in October. Tyler Freeman, Chase Burns, Michael Busch, Volpe. Parma Jake, what's up? You from Parma, Ohio? All right, let's see an auto. Let's see a monster here. Let's see my man B Woo. I bet this might be an auto. Nope. B Woo. B Buxton. Casey Schmidt. Two packs left, box 5 of 6, guys. If you're in the next break, it's 36 retail Easter egg tins. The case is almost bigger than my backdrop here. It's going to be an interesting break. I'm going to have to pop all the eggs out. Maybe take the packs out of those. Nice Bryce Matthews. Nice B-Matt. That spot went for the minimum tonight. I want to say yesterday in hobby I went for like $40. Tonight I went for $1.99. Congrats to the man who got that. Cam Devaney. That's why we just let them go. Tony Hawk. We list them at auction. They go for what they go for. You guys dictate the prices. I don't make the prices. They go for what you guys bid them to. Tonight, Bryce Matthews, who I think is a future superstar, went for $1.99. And you will never hear me complain about it. It won't be like Whatnot. You'll never hear me yelling at you guys to bid them up higher. I don't care what they go for. That's why I throw them up. The market dictates. We never say, ooh, that's a so-and-so spot. Tonight, you know what that spot was worth? $1.99. Jordan, I'm glad you got him. It's a great buy. A great buy. Absolutely great buy. Like I said, that spot went for like $40 yesterday in hobby. And I don't usually pay attention to them. I just happen to notice outliers, and I noticed that one when it came through. I was like, man, that guy got a great buy. And it's cool. It's great. That's why we list them up. I don't dictate the prices. I don't list them for $75, and then people are like, why did you list it for that? I list them for a starting point. List them for a starting point, and the market tells me what the spot is worth. And then when they hit, you can spike some crazy cards. That's why eBay is the best. eBay is the best format. I'm telling you, it is. Oh yeah. Chat. This is a $75 spot. I love listening to those guys scream and yell too. You know what? You know the best part about it is they're like, this is a $500 spot. Right now it's at $49 with 5 seconds. It's like, no, it isn't. Buster Posey, Derek Jeter, Corbin Carroll, and Ohtani. It's not a $500 spot. You, the breaker, got the case for X price. You mapped out what you wanted to make on that case. And then you priced the teams to get you to that number you wanted to make. And that's how you determine that that's a X amount spot. Chipper Jones, Christian Yelich, Tatis, and Colby Thomas. But like you, the greedy guy that wants to make $2,000 on one case of cards with 64 cards in it, you saying it's a $500 spot tells me it's definitely not a $500 spot. But I love listening to the guys freak out. I love it. Come on, guys. Come on. We got to do better. It's hilarious. Here, you bid them up before the break starts. Nobody tells you what to bid. You bid what you want. Sometimes you walk away with an incredible price, and then you spike an auto. That's how it works. It's an honest market system. That's why I'll always think eBay is the best place to do breaks. Always, always, always. All right, guys. Last box coming at us. Good luck. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here, listening to me ramble. This is what we do. It's a pretty laid-back channel. We don't scream and yell. There's no buzzers. We don't scream bang on every $5 auto. We just love ripping cards, talking sports. So if you want to come back, we'd love to have you. If you don't, no worries. Thanks for giving us a shot. Either way. B Woo. Jackson Holiday. Jose. Great Jose card. Nick Kurtz, all tops team. Mason Miller. Yeah. Oh, I love that. We're losing money on this. But then, yeah, they don't realize you can go back and see. And plus, they're not buying that case. They're not buying that case. The best part about it is they're not buying that case for what you see it going for either. Like, they're getting it for significantly cheaper than that, probably. So, but they just, oh, man. It's like a carny. It's like if you ever take your kids to the fair now and you do the balloon game where they throw a dart at a balloon. Future stars Roki, Devers, First Fuchsia, City Connect, Nolan Arenado. But if you've done that, like I remember as a kid playing that game where you throw the darts at the balloons and like you pay $5 or whatever it was. And if you hit 3, you get like a small stuffed animal. It's like now they don't even mess around. They don't even mess around. So like I went up last year and my dad was with me and like it was a really awkward experience. But we're at our local town festival. My son wanted to try to win a stuffed animal for his brother. And so he's like, oh, can I play this? I want to get Harrison a stuffed animal. Yeah, man, go ahead. So I walk up and I'm like, what's the deal? And he's like, $5 and everybody wins. You get a small one. I'm like, cool. He's like, yeah, you get 3 darts. I'm like, great. So let's let him throw them. Nothing in the last 2, K-Ball. We got 2 more here. So he's like, but if you just give me $20 now, he can just throw as many darts as you want. You can just take the biggest one. I'm like, what? He's like, well, actually, no, not 20. He's like, it would be 20, but then 20 times 2, so 40. There's Garrett Crochet, Team Border, SSP, Red Sox. Nice one there. To 2026, another Bryce Matthews. So the guy basically went from, hey, you can get the smallest one for the $5 to just give me $40 and we'll just let your kid throw as long as he wants and then you can get the biggest one. I'm like, whoa. And I kind of looked around. My dad's like, don't get that guy $40. Like, and I was like, I'm not even really sure what to do. Yeah. And it was just like, but he just like came right out with it. Like, just throw me 40. You can have this big $5 stuffed animal. And I was like, get me out of here. I was so uncomfortable. I just wanted to leave the situation. But that's what happens. Pop a Ricky Henderson, please. That would be cool. I would love to see a Ricky Henderson. Whatnot breakers and single show guys. Lower my wavering faith in humanity. Yeah, some of the guys now, like I pay attention to some of that stuff, but like some of the guys now will put every card in a one touch and sell just like base like $2 cards on Whatnot and sell them for 10, 12, 15 bucks starts. And just because they're in a one touch, people are like, ooh, must be a big card. Cam Devaney, Jacob Misiorowski, Julio. I don't know. I can't do Whatnot. I can't do it. I can't sit there and be a carny. And I'm a salesperson by trade as well. Like I'm a traveling salesperson. I run a territory of 5 states, but I'm just not that kind of salesperson. I can't do it. Small hands smell like cabbage. That's awesome. It sounds like downtown Warren Italian Fest. Florida selling. You Warren, Ohio? You from Warren, Ohio? Is that what you're talking about? Backwards Joe Adele. I lived in Cortland. Lived in Cortland for a number of years. I'm out in the Cleveland area, but I feel like I know Warren, if you're talking about Warren, Ohio. Paul Skeens, Rainbow Foil. CJ Kafis. I'm a Guardians fan. I'm not a big Kafis guy. I don't know. It's just not somebody I'm really interested in for the future. Yep. The one touch thing is amazing. People find a way to do anything, man. People find a way. It's like people find a way to try to like scam anything. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I wish people who had the brains to like be conniving and stuff like that would find a way to do good, but I don't know. I was actually pretty excited. We were watching The Sandlot before the break. My kids, Smalls, when he first starts out, he's like, my 8-year-old was like, "Oh man, Benny's so nice." Like, and then he's like, and I was like, yeah, it's like, it's a good lesson to learn. You just want to be nice to everybody. Everybody may not be as good at a specific sport as you, and you may not be as good at a sport as somebody else. But, it's important to just treat people nicely. And then, the very next scene, he comes over and he's like, "Hey man, for tomorrow," he's like, "Do you have a fireplace?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "Take that hat and throw it in there." He's like, "Well, that wasn't very nice." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but like they're buddies now. Like now you can mess with them, but so you can't say that to some guy you're not really buddies with." Colton Cowser, Glitter, Vladdy. But man, some of those great old classic sports movies, great teaching moments if you got kids. Smitty's Cards, what's up? My last name's Smith, but I never really got Smitty as a nickname. I had one buddy who called me Smitty. My dad was Smitty. My dad's dad was Smitty. I never got it. It never stuck. I always got B. Smith. I never got Smitty. All right, Jonathan India, Nolan Arenado, Mr. Witt Jr., Shea Langoliers, Jose. 2 packs left, 2 silver packs left. Decent case. We need a monster. We need a monster. Come on. Carson Willie. I feel like the auto's going to be in this pack. I don't know why. That's what my gut tells me. Let's see if it's right. My gut is correct. Isaac Collins. 9 of 10. Man, tons of low-numbered action in this part. Colby Thomas, on-card auto. Not bad. Jesus Luzardo. Mike Schmidt. Machado. Nico Horner. So we got a red to 5, a black to 10, an orange and a camo to 25 in this case. A lot of low-numbered action. Certainly not upset about that. Colby Thomas. Colby T. So we got a red, a black foil. Man, we've seen some low-numbered stuff. Still never pulled a 101 foil fractor at a flagship. Maybe next Sunday we'll do that. We've crossed off a lot of stuff. How about an All Kings in here? Maybe. Keibert Ruiz. Ken Griffey Jr. God, is that an awesome card. Juan Soto. All right, we got 2 silver packs and a recap left. If you guys are here for the retail tins, that's going to run at 11:30 right after this. Come on, something cool in here. Ooh, we got something. A blue. Cole Young. Roman Anthony's a nice one. Christian Moore. Buster Posey. B. Posey to 150. Come on, sneak us an auto. Dansby Swanson, Aaron Judge, Jeff Bagwell, and Mike Schmidt. So no silver pack autos. Recap coming at you guys. Again, thanks so much for joining the break. If it went your way, congrats. If it didn't, I'm sorry. Here we go. Whoa. 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 All right. We got hooked. Here we go. Bagwell, or I'm sorry, Buster Posey to 150. Jesus Luzardo. Isaac Collins is to 10. Jonathan India, Dylan Beavers, Adam Frazier, Jonah Tong, Addison Barger, David Peterson, Vladdy, Adam Frazier's to 25. The Pods, Ryan Ritter, Aqua, Jack, Padres, Fraley, Brendan Donovan, the Astros to 99. Christian Campbell to 2026. Nick Kurtz, Heliot Ramos, Astros Gold. Quinn Priester, Xander Bogaerts, David Peterson, Adam Frazier, and Joe Rock. O'Neill Cruz is to 25. Camo, very nice. Colton Cowser, Daniel Palencia, Paul Skeens, Zach Maxwell, Machado Fuchsia, Xander Bogaerts, Hunter Brown, Colton Cowser, Mookie Betts, Red Sox Style and Smiles, Alejandro Kirk Purple, Bobby Witt, Athletics, Jesus Luzardo, Chandler Simpson, Jacob Young, Astros again, Bryce Matthews, Tommy Edmond Gold, Christian Moore to 250, Brian Abreu, Nick Kurtz, Lawrence Butler to 2026, and Chandler Simpson. Cam Devaney, Garrett, Crochet, SSP. That one's to 2026. Bryce Matthews, Devers, Fuchsia, Style and Smiles again, Jackson Holiday, Wizenhunt, Devaney again, Brian Wu, Tyler Freeman, Quinn Priester, Brendan Donovan Gold, Jackson Holiday again, Brett Batty to 2026, Maxwell to 250, Keibert Ruiz, Bo Naylor, Jonathan India, Adolis Garcia, Joe Rock, Daniel Palencia, Alejandro Kirk, Juan Duran to 2026, Ronald, Jorge Soler, and Jake Fraley. Relics that are not on stands, you got Nolan Arenado, City Connect, Manny Machado, City Connect, Carlos Correa, and Francisco Lindor. Relics that are on stands, you got Kyle Teal, Carson Williams again, and Trey Turner, Bat Relic. Autos, Brandon Garcia, Bryce Matthews, Colby Thomas, Ben Rice Relic Auto, Alex Freeland is really nice, and my favorite one, Will the Thrill, 4 out of 150, Will Clark, amazing card. Bo Naylor to 5, red, amazing. And the hit of the break, Colson Montgomery, home field advantage, case hit. Everybody have an amazing rest of your Thursday night. Hopefully we'll see you real soon for a break. Again, thanks for choosing Rips Card Rips. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Swing Complete.